All right, y'all, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business today. Gonna see if it has BSS for its one main Google search, local and city search combined of Tulia, Texas. So we're back here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More about that pinned video, pinned post, home video, somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph down below here in white. Got our highest intent peeps. Over on the left, there's a peep searching for, boudoir photo shoot in my city, and they're searching that today, things like that. And so people the easiest convert, closest to the money, and we make a video. The videos we make are about BSS, kind of first getting found by these peeps. And over on the right, we got our lowest intent peeps. So we talk about over with our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. We talk about BLCS, and right now we're currently only working with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. That is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots means we're dying pretty fast because that means we're on page 2 or deeper if we got 0 slots page 1. And we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So approximately 80% of Google searches are page 1 and done searches. And that means we're invisible to approximately 80% of the market if we're on page 2 or deeper. And that means our business will be down pretty fast. Also, 1 slot on page 1, that ain't good enough anymore because every other boudoir photographer on page 1 is basically going to have 1 slot. And there's 10 organic slots. So if we got one, there's going to be 9 other boudoir photographers there. We're not sending it out. We're not looking special. We're not looking differentiated. And as a result, boudoir photographers actually, or boudoir buyers, they're just going to click to all 10 people's website, opens everyone's website, submit a contact form for everyone, get a quote from everyone. And as a result, everyone's going to get price shopped, compared to death, price shopped to death. We have no pricing leverage, pricing power, just because there's so many options. And this is what approximately 80% of buyers do. The other, they're just page 1 only. So, we really only got to worry about the peeps on page 1 for approximately 80% of buyers. Now, 0 1 slots on page 1 Google is actually not normal. So yeah, so it's not normal to have such a small number of slots page 1 Google search as a boudoir photography business owner. It's common, it's accepted, but it's not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are 1, market saturation, and 2, the false belief of page 1 equality. Now, with market saturation, what actually happens is the kind of over time, more boudoir photographers enter the market. Normally it's because people upgrade their gear, they get a new iPhone, an awesome camera, or new camera itself. They just decide I'm gonna throw up a Google My Business profile saying they shoot boudoir now, or they get a website created, say they're now a boudoir photographer, or they're posting the mom groups on Facebook saying they now for boudoir photo shoots. So it's more boudoir photographers in the market competing for the same number of buyers, and as a result, we actually run out. We basically kind of get out competed. It's just harder for every other boudoir photographer that's in the market. Now, there's 2 deeper root causes. The first one, market saturation. Yeah, I did that. But the most important one is this new one, the false belief of page 1 equality. So this is something boudoir photographers kind of auto-accepted, haven't really thought about. But many have felt that every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slot page 1 on Google. And as a result, maybe their website was, page 1 slot 7. And some new boudoir photographers enter the market. And then their link, their boudoir photographer basically link got pushed down to, page 2 slot 2. So they're saying like, man, I help those people delete their websites and Google brings me back up onto page 1. But this is 100% the wrong mentality. Google actually allow us and wants us to take as many page 1 slots on Google as possible as we're willing to put in the effort to take and acquire. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search in only 10 days. So I know Google literally will give us as many slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire, which means the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. So yeah, when you only got 0 1 slots page 1 Google, disappearing boudoir photographer, because if we got 0 slots page 1, we're on page 2 or deeper, we're invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. If we got one slot page one, we're still basically invisible because we got one slot, same as the other 9 competitors on the page. So yeah, we're getting form fills, but probably 10% or less of those are converting. And this is kind of the disappearing boudoir photographers, kind of the warning sign, the warning symbol, the canary in the coal mine, saying that now our boudoir photography business itself is on the path to, is actually on the path to disappearing. But thankfully, we have discovered a solution. We discovered that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And I mean, it works exactly as the name says. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, so we show up there in as many placements as possible. And this is kind of like the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains down in South America. The snow on the east side, the back side of those mountains. So what happens to that snow is it melts into small streams, flows into small streams and then small rivers, and eventually all the melted snow collects into the large Amazon River. And that large Amazon River, that's page 1 on Google search. So we gotta get the snow up top first, top of the mountain, so it can melt and come down, and that is S-cube methodology, is getting that snow up there. Everything flows from S-cube methodology. And what's interesting is this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that can enable boudoir photography business to still have a chance to grow, even in a ever saturating, boudoir photography marketplace in a relatively quick, and give that opportunity in a relatively quick time frame. The only other solution that gives that same benefit of enabling business to grow in a saturated marketplace that I've seen that is as strong as S-cube methodologies is having a large, well-known brand. But dude, that takes 5 to 8, for like 5 to 10 years. That is, that's way longer than our, S-cube methodology to kind of get that power to grow. And dude, we ain't got 5 to 10 years anymore. No, dude, AI is here. We do not have 5 to 10 years to wait anymore. We need to be building momentum now. And interesting, one of my estimates is that using S-cube methodology, my estimate is it'll actually enable boudoir photographers to, basically acquire and have a large, well-known brand in their area, approximately 8x faster than normal methods. It's because, we're being seen way more, higher volume, higher frequency, and more surfaces, more touch points. And so that's kind of my own estimate. And an example here, S-cube methodology, we are going to LA. Let's say we're in LA and there are 1 million boudoir photographers there. We're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they shoot boudoir. And so, over a million websites trying to rank page 1 Google search, ultra competitive. And we ain't got no large, well-known brand. So we've decided, man, our only hope here is S-cubed methodology. So we fire it up and we crank it to the max. So let's say we crank it to the max and we take literally the first 300 slots across all the social searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. And then we also take the, let's say those flow onto Google search at and we take the first 300 slots Google search. Well, 10 Google slots per page. So we're taking out literally the first 30 pages on Google. And so when a boudoir buyer searches for anything related to, high intent with boudoir in our city, we're basically the only one that comes up when they search on social, when they search on Google. So if, they got to go to slot basically 301 to find any of our competitors. So if that's the case, what is the whose business will most likely be growing in this situation? Probably ours, utilizing S-cube methodology. Whose businesses will likely be failing? Slowing down, disappearing, failing, going invisible. Most likely the other 999,999 other boudoir photography competitors in our city, because we're basically the only one buyers can find. So this is kind of a, kind of the most extreme example of what S-cube methodology could enable for a boudoir photography business. Now, once you're with S-cube methodology, we now have page 1 visibility, P1V. And yeah, initial benefit, we get more slots page 1 on Google, cool. And every new slot we get page 1 on Google, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1, effectively making them invisible. And when we make them invisible, they're page 2 or deeper, invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. That means we can basically control, through our effort, how many of our competitors would kick off, make them disappear in boudoir photographers, and make their boudoir photography business, be on the path to disappearing. So a lot of boudoir photographers actually like this initial benefit. And page 1 visibility actually is boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. So this is where the GBC universe recommends having a minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search. Because when we have these, basically everyone else is going to have 1 slot, all the other competitors. So we're going to be dominating them with our 3 slots. And the ultra rare scenario where someone has 2 slots, well, we got 3 slots, we're still dominating them. So allows us to dominate in basically all scenarios. And finally, we know that Boudoir photographer with BSV, Boudoir search visibility, is a visible Boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got a micro universe here. A disappearing Boudoir photographer with Boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. That's fine. We now have the solution, S cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become a visible Boudoir photographer with Boudoir search visibility. All right, now my results utilizing S cubed methodology. So I wanted to dominate page one for this keyword, BLCS Boudoir. So I strictly use S cubed methodology. That's my results. Got organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I actually I was able to go from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search in only 10 days, purely by utilizing S cubed methodology. Now the main event here, we're going to look at this boudoir photography business and check out, see if they got BSS for their local and their city search. Actually, they're in one. This time, Tulia, Texas. I think it's in between Dallas and Amarillo, Texas, but they call it Amarillo. So let's check here. So here we go. Let's go roll to the organic slot. So here's what we got. We got slot 1. We got slot 2. Boom. Slot 3. Boom. Slot 4. Slot 5. Slot 6. Slot 7. And all right. Dude, we got 7 out of 10. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We say page 1 dominance starts at 8 out of 10. So almost 8 out of 10 slots here. But dude, imagine, dude, they just kicked off 6 or 7 other competing with Boudoir photographers to be price shopped against for the 80% of searches on Google. Fantastic. This is what we want. This is what we want. Tulia, Texas. And yeah, we don't have it's local city search combined. So boom, perfect. This Boudoir photography business does not have BSS, Boudoir search sameness, for their local/city Google search. And they also have exceeded the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots Google page 1 organic search. So fantastic, fantastic. This is what we all wanna get to. So if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local searches, your city searches with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, and you're seen in, you had BSS for at least one of them, or you did not hit the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search for at least one of them, those high intent keyword searches. And you've accepted the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. You kind of broken through that mental barrier and understand, wow, Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots on Google as we want. And you have, you've decided you need this solved. You're seeing S cubed methodology is the only solution for this. You like the initial benefits, which is, 1 slot, more slots page 1 Google search. You like the other initial benefit, kicking your competing boudoir photographers off page 1, relegating them page 2 or deeper, making them invisible. You actually like that one the best. And you understand market saturation, yeah, more peeps, new gear over time, more boudoir photographers over time, blah, blah, blah. And you're looking ahead and you're saying, wow, AI is taking a lot of people's jobs right now. And last time a lot of people lost their jobs, COVID, massive market saturation occurred. So you're like, uh-oh, even more market saturation is going to occur this time because this is actually going to be permanent job losses as AI is taking more and more people's jobs as AI gets more and more powerful. So you're like, all right, there's going to be more and more big flood of boudoir photographers into my area competing. So you're actually realizing you actually have to fortify your position on page 1, not just get these slots, but actually fortify your position so much where you have so many backup links that Google wants to rank for you on page 1, but you've already taken up too many slots where Google puts those links, page 2, 3, and 4, and you're kind of filling up those positions where Google wants to rank those on page 1, but you already got too many slots. You've already basically taken all of them up. And so you want to fill up kind of your backlog of links to fortify your position, kind of like fortifying the levees down in Nolens, Louisiana, because that city is, below sea level. Fortify your position so basically no other current competing boudoir photographer can ever rank page 1 Google search And also, so that basically no other new boudoir photographer coming in to the marketplace, because they lost their job to AI, can ever rank page one Google search either. And you're seeing for that benefit to do that fortification, SQ methodology is the only solution out there that enables that benefit with the massive number of links that it can produce. And you want to achieve page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility, because you understand that you need these things in order to be um, on your path to become the number one boudoir photographer in your city. You also like the future benefits of SQ methodology. Building the brand approximately 8x faster than normal methods, because we're doing so much more volume across so many more surfaces than anyone else in your area. And you're actually you also understand doing SQ methodology is building up all these invisible thematic keyword columns, a cluster of keywords that we're plugging into your brand, kind of out there in the internet, invisible cyberspace. Your brand name, your website, your business name, your social handle names, kind of connecting to all those. And this feeds into the AI, backend AI mindshare with those keywords. And as a result, every day you successfully execute SQ methodology, we are increasing the probability that AI recommends us in search positions such as this, AI overview, most premium search placement here. It's organic. Nobody can pay for this. And also increased probability of showing up in AI search apps, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. And these AI search apps increasing, dude, every single day in usage. Google standard search slowly declining every single day in usage. And the last time I did search for boudoir photographers with AI search in a city, it was a ChatGPT that gave me 3. I actually then went and did a manual search, Google and Facebook. And dude, I found like 60. So we need to get these AI overview slots and chat AI chat app recommendation slots, one of these 3 as fast as possible, because this is where all the attention's going. So you see an SQ methodology as the only solution out there that can enable all this in a relatively quick time frame. And you also understand that since I'm only working with one boudoir photographer per city as my current plan, that you can actually get all these benefits, build up a massive gap between your competitors, and actually prevent your competitors from using this technology. And for that reason, you've decided to become be a number one, first mover in your city for this technology. And that's because you understand the converse, where if one of your boudoir photographer competitors signs on with me first, they're getting all these extra page one links, pushing you off page 2, 3, 4 deeper, fortifying it themselves page one. So you'll basically never have a shot to ever even rank page one Google search. Building up the backend AI keyword mindshare, massive gap between you and them, kind of that mindshare momentum. And in order for you to compete, you'd actually have to actually rederive S-cubed methodology. You'd also have to increase, basically, well, you'd have to equal our output, but all that would every single day, but all I would do is, maintain the gap me and your competitor currently have ahead of you. So you'd have to actually outwork us 2 to 3x every single day, but you're not even 100% confident you've derived the strategy, the technology correctly in the first place. And so as a result, you are, you'd have to you wouldn't even be confident to put in the time. And if you did, you'd be like, man, who's got 80 hours to do all this work? So as a result, hearing all this, like, yeah, screw that. I ain't doing all that. You decide to be the first mover. Hit us up first, be the first one in your city to utilize this new technology. So if that's you, shoot us a DM. The hospital is currently closed to new patients for new patient intake, but once we open the hospital for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify for utilizing our S-cubed methodology.